Hello everyone, I'm Joseph Yagin, Assistant Professor, Assam Downtown University. Today I'm going to discuss about the instrumentation of UV visible spectroscopy. So let's see. I'm going to I'm going to give some introduction of the UV visual spectrophotometry, and after that I will start instrumentation. So in introduction part, the absorption spectrophotometry in the ultraviolet and visible region is considered to be one of the oldest physical method for quantitative analysis and structural elucidation. So wavelength, all of you know that for UV it is 200 to 400 nanometer, and for visible it is 400 to 800 nanometer. So why it is divided? Actually, what happened in UV, that is 2 to 400 nanometer, we can determine the colorless sample solutions, and in visible we can determine the colored solutions. So this is the difference in UV and visible. After that, the components of UV visual spectrophotometer, we have source of radiation energy. After that, collimating system and monochromator, sample holder, that is the container to hold the sample. After that, we have a this detector is also there, and suitable amplifier or readout service test monitor. So here you can see the schematic diagram of the UV visible spectrophotometer. That is, first we have a light source, then collimating lens is there. I will explain the function of each and every one by one. So after collimating lens, we have a dispersing element and sample container. After that, detector, and the last one is a readout. So first, for visible radiation, we have a light source, that is tungsten halogen lamp. We have the construction part. Its construction is similar to a household lamp. Here you can see the photo. The bulb contains a filament of tungsten fixed in evacuated condition and then filled with the inert gas like neon and argon. The filament can be heated up to 3000 kilowatt then Kelvin, and then beyond this tungsten starts sublimating. Then it is used when the polychromatic light is required. To prevent this, along with inert gas, some amount of halogen is introduced. Okay. After that, the sublimated form of tungsten react with the iodine to form tungsten iodine complex, which migrates back to the hot filament where it decomposes and tungsten get deposited. So demerit of this tungsten lamp is it emits the major portion of the radiation energy in near eye region of the spectrum. So after that, we have this source for UV radiation is hydrogen discharge lamp. We have here, you can see the photo I have given in the bottom. So hydrogen discharge lamp, it has a pair of electrode in enclosed in a glass tube, which provided with a silica or quartz window for UV radiation to pass through and filled with the hydrogen gas. Then when current is passed through these electrodes maintained at high voltage, discharge of electron occurs, which excites the hydrogen molecules, which in turn cause emission of UV radiation in near UV region. So they are stable and robust. After that, one more this light source is there, that is xenon discharge lamp. So it possesses two tungsten electrodes separated by some distance. You can see the photo I have given in the bottom here. This is xenon discharge lamp, and these electrodes are enclosed in a glass tube for visible and with quartz. Glass tubes means for the visibility with quartz or fused silica and xenon gas is filled under pressure, and intense arc is formed between the electrodes, between these two electrodes, by applying high voltage, and this is good source of the continuous plus additional intense radiation. Its intensity is higher than the hydrogen discharge lamp. So demerit of this xenon discharge lamp is these lamps, since operates at high voltage, becomes very hot during the operation and hence needs thermal this insulation. After that, we have one more this light source, that is mercury arc lamp. In mercury arc lamp, this mercury vapor is stored under high pressure, and excitation of mercury atom is done by electric discharge. You can see the photo of this mercury arc lamp here. Uh, and demerit of this mercury arc lamp is not suitable for continuous spectral studies, because it doesn't give continuous radiation. So this is one of the demerit we have for this mercury arc lamp. And after that we have a collimating system, that is lens, collimating lens. The radiation emitted by the source is collimated, that is made parallel by the lenses. Okay, this collimating means these radiations which emitted by the source are made parallel by the lens, and you can say mirror and slits. After that lens we have mirror and slits. So for lens, the materials used for this lens must be transparent to the radiation. These are the lens, you can see this normal type of lens. Then ordinary silicate glass transmits between 350 to 3000 nanometer, and it is suitable for visible and near IR vision also. So quartz or fused silica is used as a material for lens to work below 300 nanometer. After lens, we have mirrors for the parallel to make the radiation parallel. So these are used for reflect and focus or collimating high light beams in spectrophotometer, and to minimize the light loss, mirror are aluminized on their front surface. After mirror we have slits. So slit is an important device in resolving polychromatic radiation into monochromatic radiation. We need single radiation. So to achieve this, entrance slit and exit slits are used. So the width of the slit plays an important role in resolution of the polychromatic radiation. So these are the these component involved in the UV spectrophotometer, and in my next video I am going to explain the remaining component involved in this instrumentation of UV. Thank you.